Hey, grade 10s, this is our last lesson on the weather unit, and we're going to be taking a look at global climate change and global warming. And we no longer tend to use the word global warming because there's a lot more to it than just the Earth getting warmer. So what's happening and why? Well, climate change talks about a change in the average weather. We're going to have day-to-day changes all the time. We know that we can have really cold days in the winter. Sometimes even some of our summer days are cold. We can also have very warm ones. Climate change talks about how your overall climate, the average, is changing over time. And climate change affects the climate of the Earth as a whole. The entire planet is having an effect. A lot of it's being caused by something that we call the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect regulates temperature on Earth. In fact, if we didn't have any greenhouse effect, it would be very cold on the planet. We're about as far from the sun as our moon is, but our moon is very, very cold on the dark side because it doesn't have a greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect, however, has been amplified over the recent years by an increase in something called greenhouse gases, and they're making the whole situation worse. So what is the greenhouse effect anyway? Well, when sunlight comes down to us, it comes down with very short wavelengths. We can almost imagine that they were very tiny little waves, and those little waves are able to get through glass substances like a greenhouse or the car you might be in. When they hit objects inside that confined space, like plants or the seats of your car, things warm up and longer heat waves start to bounce off. These longer heat waves, however, can't get through the glass of the greenhouse, and so they get bounced back in to continue warming up stuff that's going on inside of the greenhouse. This is how greenhouses keep things warm. In this animation, we can see that of the sunlight that is hitting the Earth in our bright yellow sun rays, that some of that sunlight is hitting the planet and warming up and going back up into the atmosphere and is bouncing off the gases in the atmosphere. That bounce of the sunlight and the warm heat waves off the atmosphere comes back down to warm the Earth even more, and the Earth's average temperature increases. The same thing happens if you've ever been asked to sit in a car in the summertime. Although the sun's light can pass through, once it starts to heat the warm interior of the car, your seats, those longer wavelengths cannot re-exit through the glass windows, and very quickly we see the inside of the car warm up. So what kind of gases are causing the greenhouse effect? Well, the main ones are carbon dioxide and methane. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is what we exhale when we breathe out. Carbon dioxide is also produced in any kind of fossil fuel. So when we drive our cars or heat our homes or industry, even forest fires increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. Carbon dioxide causes most of the global warming effect. So if we consider this circle to be all of the gases that could cause global warming, carbon dioxide is responsible for most of it. The other really big one that can cause a reasonable amount is methane. Methane is a CH4 molecule, and it's the same gas that's produced by our own body's natural gases. If you've ever seen those memes about cow farts causing global warming, well, it's because methane is a reasonably large greenhouse gas. However, having said that, almost all of the global warming that has affected the planet right now is being caused by carbon dioxide. And it is the one that we can actually do the most about. It's this human-induced greenhouse effect that's causing us the most concern. And the reason for that, it's happening at a rate that's never been experienced in human history. We have had warming periods in the past, but they have never happened at this rate, and the planet isn't able to change to keep up with it. Not only are we having warming, but we also notice that wind patterns are changing, Precipitation is changing. Severe weather events are happening more often. In fact, the summer of 2020 is anticipated to be one of the worst years we've had for hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. And all these things are as a result of the warming planet and the climate change that's caused along with it. So these greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide and the methane, are what is acting like the glass in a greenhouse. They are what's bouncing back some of the energy to the earth. And the more that they bounce it back, the more of them that we have, the warmer that the earth can get. You guys have in your downloaded sections on Teams these short 5 questions that I'd like you guys to answer about global climate change. And that marks the very last lesson that we have in this unit. I also will have a couple of other videos linked underneath this video in the comments that really do a great job of explaining global climate change and what's causing it and what we can do to protect ourselves.